My name is Robbie Thomas Walker. I have 2 kids. My daughter is Atala and my son is Ayante. And I have stage 4 triple negative breast cancer. Born in Pasadena, California, St. Luke's Hospital. My daughter was my first, Atala, and I was very emotional. Very emotional. Very emotional because she almost didn't make it here. So, to go through everything that I went through to get her here, and then for her to finally be here and be healthy, and everything be good when not just her but me as well, was very emotional. I knew as soon as I found out that it was a boy. It was crazy with him because I found out I was pregnant with him. I found out that it was a boy. Everything all in one setting. Because I still had my cycle every month, everything. So I didn't know that I was pregnant. And I ended up getting really, really sick one night, and paramedics had to come and get me. And I was in the hospital, and they ran the test, and they was like, "Did you know that you're pregnant?" I was like, "No, I'm not." It was like, "Yes, you are." I said, "No, I'm not. I get my period every month." This doctor said, "Ma'am, you're pregnant." She said, "And by the way, it's a boy." It's like, oh my God. Yeah, so very excited. Surprised, but very excited. But I knew after that, that was it. I had a girl and a boy, that was it. Decision that I made to change my life. To not take unnecessary bullshit that I was going through at the time. That I knew I shouldn't have been going through. And when my kids came along, they were like that final nail in the coffin that let me know you need to make a move. Unconditional strength. Survivor of all things. No, this is my third. I found out the first time in 2001. And then I found out the second time in 2014. And 2014 transitioned into the third time when I found out it was right when you were getting ready to graduate, right? For the third time. So it was like the end of 2014, beginning of 15 for the third time. That's really hard because there's so much, you know? It's not like you can say, okay, I need to teach them A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because this world is so broad and there's so many lessons that they need to learn. There's so many things that I need to teach them, and I've come to grips with I'm only human and I can only do so much. So what I try to do is just pick the most important things and I try to instill that in them. Like how to handle their finances, how to make sure their rent is paid on time, how to make sure they handle their business so that when I'm not here, they can still carry on with everyday life. Because they're still going to have to pay rent when I'm gone. They're still going to have to eat when I'm gone. They're still going to have to pay gas and electric and phone when I'm gone. You know? Along with just trying to be strong emotionally, internally, you know? Actually, I'm no longer doing chemo. My cancer has progressed to the point where it's too far gone for chemo. So they stopped all my chemo treatments. Every day is different. Every day is different. Some days are good, some days are bad. But for the most part, I'll say it's hell, because it's hard dealing with the fact that you know you're gonna die, and there's so much that you still want to do. There's still so much that you still want to accomplish. There's still so much that you want to do with your kids. Still so much that I want to teach them and show them. And to be in the state of health that I'm in, where I can't really get out and do the things that I want to do because of my health, makes it hard, depressing. So I find myself a lot of times having to rely on my inner strength, having to rely on my faith to pull me up and keep me strong and keep me going. In other words, I would be in the bed depressed all the time. I do. I do. I really do. I have to say that I'm really blessed in that area. I really do have a good support system. I have my children. I have my mom, Jamel, who is excellent, Alvin, my sister Nita, Angel. I have a good support system. But the thing about it is that, you know, everybody works. Everybody has lives of their own. So a lot of times when I'm going through it, I can't just pick up the phone and call because people are at work, you know, or people are at school. I can't just pull people out of class, or can't just pull people out of work because I'm having a depressed day. So that's when you rely on that faith and that inner strength, and you do what you got to do, and you keep it moving. That mommy didn't give up. That mommy fought until she just literally couldn't fight anymore. And so I want that to be a source of reference for them. So when they're going through their hard times in their lives, and they're going through disappointments and ups and downs, they can think back on me and be like, you know what, my mama wasn't a quitter. I'm going through some hard times, but mommy didn't quit, so I can't quit. I have a birthday coming up May 31st. I just want to be alive to see my birthday. I want to be alive to turn 46.
How do I even explain a charisma, an aura, a being, a creation like my mother? There's not really words to explain someone like my mother. You know, growing up as a kid, she provided everything, all the time, all the time. Even when I couldn't, even as children, we could see the struggle that she carried, but we didn't understand the struggle that she carried. You know, because as children, you only know so much about what's going on around you. But my mother pulled it off all the time. I can't build the words to explain someone like my mother. You know? Just that warrior. When you think of a kid growing up, you always have that one superhero, that one badass character you always wanted to be like, or you always looked up to. That's my mother. But she just tops all superheroes, all just everybody. She's number one. Yeah, that's how I would describe my mother.
Is that this life, this thing called life, is so full of obstacles. It's like a huge maze, and no matter what turn, no matter what twist, no matter what heel, no matter what ocean, you have to keep fighting. You cannot give up no matter how intense the fight gets. No matter how much you look at your situation and you feel like there's no way that I can overcome this. But there is a way. And you just have to believe that. And you just got to keep going one day at a time, one foot in front of the other. You just have to keep going. You just have to. I just, in my heart, quitting is not an option. It's just not an option. It's just not a word that I can grasp or comprehend. It's just, there is no such word as quit or can't. This world is too big. This life is too valuable to quit. And even if you don't win, you still have to set the example for those that are watching you. You know, because people pull strength from watching you go through what you go through. People gain inspiration from watching you do what you do and watching you fight the way you fight. And this is another reason why I fight so hard, because I know that my babies are watching me. And I want to leave them with not just the verbal communication of not being quitters, but also being a living example for them to see every single day, 24 hours a day. Do not quit, no matter how bad it gets. You got to stand up. You got to lace up them battle boots and you got to handle it. Your faith has to be stronger than the doctors. Because the doctors are human beings just like you and I. They shit just like you and I. They get sick just like you and I. They're human beings just like you and I. So, with that being said, just because the doctor may tell you, like they told me, first they told me I had 6 months. Then they told me I had 3 months. My faith is bigger than what the doctors tell me. And that's what I want to leave behind for everyone else to know. That you just got to keep going. And you can't rely on every single word that the doctors say, because they're humans just like us.